Hello everybody, my name is Jagiero and welcome to a brand new series on this channel where today I am going to start a huge project. Or rather, I'm going to finish a project that I started some time ago, but make it bigger, make it better, upgrade it, improve it, and make it, actually finished. You may recognize the build I'm standing in right now as the Cyberpunk city I was building in Season 4 of the AfterLife SMP. Unfortunately, I didn't finish the project before the SMP season ended and we reset the server. So I decided that I was going to copy and paste the build into a creative world and finish it that way. But then I got to thinking, if I'm going to build in creative, why not take this opportunity to take all the best parts of this build and use those to create something much more epic? So let's take a look at this build. From the beginning, I decided the story of the city was that it started off as being filled with these New York style townhouses. But as time went by, the buildings were expanded upwards and upgraded to a more futuristic or cyberpunk look. Then on top of those, I was going to build in a more gothic influenced style so that the city would be filled with these 3 layers of different styles. However, I never actually got round to doing the gothic style builds, and honestly I was never really happy with the idea of mixing the cyberpunk and townhouse builds together either. So that's one change I can make for the new project by just sticking to the cyberpunk style throughout. I say cyberpunk style, but again, I felt like I never really got close enough to the grittiness of cyberpunk to really call it that. In fact, I think a lot of these buildings look a little too cartoony. So another change I can make is to try to build in a more edgy and realistic, truer cyberpunk style. My favourite build in this project is probably the stacks here, which is just a bunch of shipping containers stacked on top of each other randomly to create a cluster of makeshift homes. I can use this in the new project for the poorer areas of the city. This project doesn't have roads around the city because I intended flying cars to be the main mode of transport, but instead it has canals of this thick black and purple oil. While the new project will have roads for futuristic cars to use, I do like the idea of having some of these canals throughout the more industrial areas of the new city. Honestly, there's a whole bunch of things I'd like to reuse for the new project, like the monorail, the aquarium, these power generator towers, and the idea of having these major corporation logos dotted about the place. So that's the plan. I'm going to start a new creative world and build a brand new city in a more gritty, realistic cyberpunk style, but using some of the better elements from this old build. So here we are in the new world. As you can see, we're in a rather nice looking plains biome here. I just cycled through a whole bunch of random seeds till I found a pretty good looking plains, and I am using the large biomes setting for this world. So this plains is huge. So I've got a whole lot of space to work with. As you can see, there's a bit of a river over that side and also that side. Will the build get big enough to reach those? I don't know, but I'm going to have fun finding out. Alright, so I've got this stone block placed there. Now that is to signify where roughly the centre of the city is going to be. It's roughly in between those 2 rivers, so it gives us a decent amount of space to build the first build. But first, I have to clear a whole bunch of space. It's gross, I know. Don't worry though. Don't worry, it'll be fine. Because a lot of this open space here is going to be covered by the city, and you won't even notice. And yes, I am going to have lots of elevation changes and all that anyway. Don't worry, it's not all going to be flat like this. I just need to clear a bunch of space so that I can work with it. All right. Now you can see I have a wooden axe. That's because I'm using the world edit mod in this world. So that's great. That's going to be really, really helpful for me. Okay, so now I've got all this space cleared. How about we work out something like what we're going to do with the roads? The roads themselves are made from blackstone and polished blackstone brick slabs, and I've made it into just this generic shape that I can change later on. And the road markings are made from smooth quartz slabs. The sidewalks are a mixture of cobbled deep slate and deep slate bricks, and they're edged with polished deep slate. And I've done some lane separators here, but they won't be used for every area of the city. I've gone for slabs on the roads and full blocks for the sidewalks because I want a definitive height difference between the two. But there's a problem. If I want to place futuristic cars on these roads, well, there's a gap between the car and the road. Now, how do I solve this? Hover cars. Okay, I'm going to use hover cars. Like, we should have hover cars already. It's 2022. It's literally already the future. Now I'm going to build some street lamps and traffic lights. And I played around with the height of these a little bit, and I think I've got just the right scale here. Alright, so I feel like I'm at a pretty good point with the designs for the traffic lights and lampposts here. As you can see, I've used mostly polished blackstone for the bases, and then I've used the pearlescent frog lights. I really like this. This is my favourite light block at the moment for the lights there. And as you can see on this, we've got a very interesting design on a banner for the traffic lights. I found this on Pinterest. I cannot find who did the original, otherwise I would give credit. I don't know. I just found it on Pinterest. It's basically, it's a light grey banner, and then you do a red triangle top thing and a green bottom one, and then a yellow one, a yellow dot in the middle, and then do the black banner thing around it. It works. Yeah, it's fine. It doesn't really make sense because technically all of these lights wouldn't be on at the same time, but it's fine. I think it works. It's fine, okay? Now you may notice that these roads are 6 blocks wide, and that is because the designs that I've done for the cars are 4 blocks wide, like so. So you've got a nice even one gap either side of that. So that's going to work out okay. I don't like usually working in even numbers, but this will be okay. Okay, he'll be okay. I've got this lane divider here. Now, I mentioned that not all roads will have these lane dividers, so most roads will actually only be 13 blocks wide. I couldn't add up 6 plus 6 in my head, plus 1. Oh my god. It's late, okay. So most of the roads will actually be 13 blocks wide and not have this lane divider, but I've got this lane divider because I'm going to have some like billboards and stuff on those in this area, so that's just why they are like that. So eventually, as it goes down the road, it will then meet up with each other and go off somewhere else. And, not all roads will be straight like this, and not all roads will be flat. Don't worry, okay? We're going to have lots of variation and lots of like overpasses, and then we're going to have subways and junctions and I don't know, all the kinds of things that cities have. Okay, but I've stalled enough for now. How about I actually start building the first build? It's going to be the sort of main centre point of the city, and it's going to be the City Hall. So, for this first building, I'm using quite a lighter block palette here of andesite, quartz, light blue glass with some polished blackstone added in for like a more industrial accent. Recently, I've been playing a whole bunch of Cyberpunk 2077, which is a phenomenal game, and visually it's absolutely stunning. I love just walking around the city in it, and I always get really, really inspired to build after playing it, so this is the perfect project for me right now. One of the things that really stands out for me in that game is the huge variety of building designs in the actual city, like ranging from like your basic symmetrical skyscraper shapes to like elaborate industrial polyangular sculptures. So keeping these designs in mind, I'm going to have to work really hard to come up with buildings that are anywhere near as impressive. But having said that, I probably shouldn't compare my Minecraft project to a multi-million-dollar AAA game design. Gotta aim high though, you know? One of the things I wanted to include in his first build is an aquarium, like from the original city build on the AfterLife server. I'm using Lightmatica to help me with this build, and I will say I had a little bit of trouble with this aquarium because it does not interact very well with water, so I had to redo it a couple of times. I've added a couple of signs with pearlescent frog lights, replacing the quartz blocks randomly to give the words a slightly dirtier texture. I found an app online that can convert images into Minecraft blocks, and I used it for a couple of billboards. See if you can tell what these pictures are. On the front and back of the building, I've built a bit of an art piece, and actually this ended up inspiring the name of the city. All in all, I am pretty happy with how this first build turned out. It's a little less cartoony than some of the original city builds, it has the aquarium situated in it, and it has some of the more industrial elements included. Job done. So there we have it. The City Hall. I like this building. It's pretty cool. Different shape to it, you know, instead of it being like just a regular skyscraper square or rectangle or cuboid shape. It's got the corners cut off of it, and then it's got these shapes cut out the top for the roof. I think it's pretty good. I don't mind this at all, actually. So some of the features are these elevators going through the middle of the top section here. Obviously the aquarium on the side. You can see the glass is glitching a little bit. That is something to do with 3 of the mods that I'm using. Continuity, indium and sodium. It's just an interaction they have with water. I've tried updating it. It's not fixed it yet, so we've just got to live with it, I think, until I find an alternative. That's okay. We've got this writing here. This is something that I had in the original Cyberpunk city. This is like it's just a sort of unique language for the place. It's, you know, it's sort of Japanesey or Korean style language. So we're gonna use some of that, and obviously English as well, as we have it on the City Hall sign. I wasn't going to do this now, but let's do it now anyway. So, did you guess what this is? Okay, the best way to see it properly is to squint your eyes a bit and then sort of shake your head. Or shake your eyes, maybe. I don't know. I think once we have a few of these on buildings around the city, it'll look better, okay? If you squint your eyes from a distance, maybe? I don't know. Okay, so let me get close up to it. Let's do this on the side of the screen, and then I'll show you the actual picture on the other side of the screen now. Yes, so that is in fact Joey from Friends. And in one of the episodes, he does some advertising for a Japanese company called Ichiban, lipstick for men. Yep. I just thought it's a great episode. It's a hilarious thing. So I like that. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to stick that on. And then on the other side, again, if you go from a distance, squint your eyes and shake your head a little bit, you can sort of tell who it is. Okay, so let's go a bit closer, and again side to side now. That is Tommy Lee Jones doing a real advertisement for Boss Coffee in Japan. He does quite a lot of different advertisements and stuff over there, and they're usually quite hilarious. So I just like the look of it. What I was really looking for was pictures where they had like contrasty backgrounds and foregrounds. So like a really light background. Then in the foreground, he's wearing like a dark suit and stuff. So yeah, it just works. It works okay. It's fine. I just like the look of it. Okay, I think it's going to be perfect. All right, let's go inside, shall we? Now, the interiors are not going to be fully decorated, okay, because there's going to be a lot of buildings around the place, and it's just going to be too much work, okay? So I've done some bits, and then I'll probably just leave the rest, honestly. Maybe I'll work on it when I get some spare time, you know? So in here, okay, so the City Hall, like, what goes in a City Hall? I don't even know. Like, a public records thing, I kind of figured. So this is, you know, this is a kind of where you could do some, like, research through the public record. I don't know. I don't know. We've got another elevator in the middle here, okay, so you can go in and you can go up to the next level, but if you turn around, you can see inside the aquarium here. So we've got the elevator going through the aquarium. I thought that was a pretty cool idea. Yeah, really like that. Okay, so we go up to this level, quite a bare corridor, and then just one massive room. Obviously, I could separate this off into several different rooms. That might be a good idea. And then if we go up the elevator to the next level. Again, you can see inside the aquarium, you have a separate room here, a little corridor going to there, and then another separate room on this side. Each of these rooms has a little access way to the balcony on the outside. Yeah, why not? It's nice. Okay, this corridor here actually has access to a door that leads to nowhere. Don't you worry, that will all be revealed exactly where that is going very soon. Okay, so we go up to the next level. Again, quite a bare corridor, but we have several more rooms this time. I was thinking maybe have a glass floor here so you can see down into the aquarium. That might not be a bad idea, actually. And again, I can separate this off into several different rooms like I have on this side. So this is the hangar for like flying vehicles. In fact, we're going to have a flying vehicle looking like it's about to land inside the hangar, so that would be quite cool. I've just experimented with some kind of pipes and stuff using lightning rods and these walls and stuff. I think it looks okay. You know, this might be something I can use for, well, quite a lot throughout the city. I think those pipe designs. Okay, this is where the elevator in the middle ends, But on either side here, you have another elevator going up to the next floor. Again, a bare corridor, a bunch of different rooms, but they all have this lovely glass roof. Very nice, very stylish. Very, light. Lots of natural light in those rooms, although tinted blue, I guess, but that's fine. Okay, so you go to the other end, up the elevator, at this end to the top corridor, where I have, it's just like an open office kind of thing. This is more like a fancy office, I think. We've got like a little view of the glass roof at the sides there. The top's not really decorated properly. We've got, these are supposed to be like air conditioning units or something. I don't really know. I'll play around with those a little bit more later on at some point, methinks. Okay, so what else is there to say? Yes. Okay, so this piece of artwork down the middle here. Originally, I had windows and stuff, and that looked okay, but it was a little bit boring, I felt. So I just did this sort of centerpiece artwork to break it up, and what I was kind of thinking was we start with the gradient of the smooth quartz blocks, and just do less and less of them as we get down to the bottom, and then replace a few of them with the lamps, and then do the end rods for, just some added lighting to it. I like that. Okay, it looks like a little bit glitchy, you might say. Okay, and something else it reminded me of is the Matrix falling letters. Like the green falling letters down the screen and stuff, the iconic Matrix thing. I really like the look of that, and this sort of reminded me of that. And again, that's inspired me for the name of the city. Okay, so the name of the city that I've gone for is Glitchfall City. Okay, so you have like a glitch design falling down. I like the look of that. Okay, so you've got like the motif of the city, the symbol of the city on the city hall. And in fact, it will be on quite a few of the buildings around this area. Okay. So, I think that's everything for that particular build, methinks, yeah. So, speaking of other builds in this area, so what I'm going to do now is move over to here. We're going to have a open parking lot here, just quite a small one, just to fit maybe 6 or 7, 8 cars here. Next to a larger building, an indoor parking garage. I started with a small outdoor parking lot next to this city hall, before moving on to an industrial looking elevator for the vehicles to ride up into this new building. For this build, I've been inspired by a very polarising architecture style called Brutalism, which emerged in post-war Britain as part of the reconstruction effort needed to rebuild the kingdom. The style commonly makes use of exposed unpainted concrete or brick, angular geometric shapes, and a predominantly monochrome colour palette. And yes, all of that was straight from Wikipedia. I called it a polarizing style because it's often described as cold or soulless. Personally, I kind of agree, but those are the reasons I love it. Hard edges, flat faces, single colours, it's beauty. Ugly, ugly beauty. I'm going to be using Brutalism as an influence on a lot of buildings in this city, so this first one is a bit of a litmus test. I'm using a combo of andesite and stone to represent the concrete because I think it looks quite clean, which is what I want for this particular area. Then, as we travel further away from the centre of the city, the buildings will get dirtier and I can use more varied textures. I'm putting in some outside access stairs, a fire escape on the other side, and I'm doing another elevator with views looking outside because it looks cool. I'm connecting the city hall to the garage using a sky bridge because I want something to draw the eye upwards from below. The city will have a whole bunch of these connecting various buildings together. Gotta add a big sign so that everyone is sure what this place is, and finish the roof. Then last but definitely not least, the billboard. See if you can tell what this is. I'll give you a clue. He's never going to give you up. Did you get it? Of course you did. It's Rick Astley from the music video for Never Gonna Give You Up. It's the meme song. Okay, it's the meme song. You've been rickrolled. Alright. I just thought it was funny. I think it works. You know, it's got TNT for his red hair. That is genius, stroke of genius from that program I used. Okay, so we've got him, and then we've got the glitch fall design dripping down from his suit. He's melting into the building. Not intentional, but it works. I've got things like this. I've got these like sort of fans and stuff and air vents and like AC units and stuff. I've placed a few of them around the building just to see if it works, and I think it does pretty much. These kinds of things, you see them like on regular buildings all the time, but you don't really notice this kind of things. So yeah, I think I could do a few more of them. That'd be pretty cool. This down here, this love heart at the bottom, I was testing out if this would work as some kind of graffiti. I think it's okay. You know, I don't think it's too bad. I've done some more around this side as well. We've got like a little, like a cartoony skull kind of thing. I think it's okay. You know what? Beatable, the building genius, can make this kind of thing work. I'm not sure I can, but it's okay. It's okay. This one doesn't work quite as much, I feel like. Maybe it's the colours. No idea. Another little detail. We've got an ATM machine in the wall here. I like it. Okay. And a little vending machine over here for something. I don't know. I know that I could put an armor stand with like some different coloured leather hats and stuff on there, and I could piston the stuff into it and make it look like there's something inside. It's fine like this. I don't want to use too many armor stands or even like signs and item frames really, because they cause lag and stuff, and eventually if I use too many of them, it'll just cause too much lag. I don't want to do that, but this works. I don't mind this at all. I need to do more things like this. I don't do this kind of detail generally. I need to do that kind of thing. There needs to be a lot of that around the city, especially Cyberpunk future. Anywho. We've got the stairs here on the outside going into the building there, and these are a bit chunky, okay? These are like thick boy stairs. They're like 3 wide. I could maybe made them even just 1 wide, and it would have brought this wall up to this point, and there would be more room inside. But honestly, I think it's fine. I think it's fine as it is. I think it just looks cool, you know? Okay. We've got some fans, some vents on the side here. What else was I going to mention? Yeah, some little AC units on the wall. Again, stuff like this, little details that you don't generally even notice, but it's there, and you'll notice if it's not there. So there. Down here, we've got a little ticket machine, okay, and a little ticket booth to go into the elevator to get inside. We've got the sky bridge going from City Hall, okay, so you've got direct access from City Hall straight into the parking garage. Some more vent fans up the top there. What we've got around the side, another 24-hour parking sign. We've got the Glitchfall logo or design worked into the walls here, and I like that a lot, actually. I really like it with the lights behind it, so we're probably going to use that quite a lot around the city, actually. The outdoor elevator, again, I just love how they look. Fire escape, because, you know, there might be a fire inside the parking garage. Who knows? Every floor is essentially the same, basically. I haven't really detailed it too much, okay? So you can come in and you'll see what floor you're on, and then I think it's floor number 4. It's got more vents. Got these air vents around the place, okay? Just to sort of fill up some space, essentially. There aren't actually many parking bays, really. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe like a small car, maybe 5 on each floor. But, you know, it works, okay? I don't do interiors, so yeah, have it. I think it works just fine. Then on the roof, you've got some more parking bays for like flying vehicles, and then you have access to go down the stairs or to the elevator from the top floor. And again, some little, you know, vents and stuff. Just adds a little detail. I like it though. I have just brought in a little few more roads and stuff. Okay, so this is actually a narrower road. It doesn't have the wide lane separator in the middle here. So you can get an idea, because there's going to be buildings at this point going up here. So you get an idea of how narrow the spaces between each building is going to be through the roads. I like that. That's going to be really cool. It's going to feel like really closed in, and there'll be like not a lot of you know, places to look where it's just blank, like we've got here, where you see the trees and stuff. So that's going to be great. Everything's going to be filled in, and it's going to look so cool. I think that's pretty much it for this build. It's great that we've got another billboard. We've got 3 billboards in the first episode, so that's wondrous. Okay, so this is a parking garage. What do you get in parking garages? Cars. How about I build a few cars? So, these cars will use magnetism to hover, so I'm using blast furnaces for magnetic field generators instead of, wheels. I'm going to be honest, I've based these cars on someone else's designs, so credit to Jet Captain on Twitter. He has some great Cyberpunk style vehicle designs posted there, and I've used them as a base for my designs. I've made a bunch of changes to the shapes and blocks used, but his vehicles definitely influenced mine, so credit where credit is due. So there we are, we have a few designs for hovercars in this world already. When I was building the Cyberpunk city on the AfterLife SMP server, I managed a grand total of 1 flying car for the entire time I was building it, so we've done really well already. That's great news. You can see the influence of Captain Jack's designs on mine, but I have changed them up significantly so that it's not a complete rip-off, okay? But I really liked his design, and I thought, well, if it ain't broke, why fix it, okay? You can see this one is like a slightly longer, sleeker design. This is like a sports car type. And on all of them, pretty much, we have these daylight sensors switched to nighttime. They're acting like solar panels. And then I mentioned you have the blast furnaces for the magnetic field generators. And on a lot of them, you also have these grindstones in there as well as part of the engine, which I thought was a pretty cool little design technique. This one over here has a cool spoiler on the back, very nice, very Fast and Furious. Fast and Furious #1, because all the others were bad except Tokyo Drift, which is amazing. This one is more like a military-style truck. Again, this is based on one of Captain Jack's designs. Again, changed up significantly. Can I put it up on the screen? Of course I can. I'm a genius editor. Look at that. Beautiful. Let's get inside this one. So here I have ample boot space, or trunk space, I guess, in the US, and there's a lot of space up front as well. You can actually get inside these, sort of, with a few tricks. This one has, like, chunkier, not wheels, what are they? They're like foot pads, I guess. This is more like an armoured foot pad for the hover thing. It's great. Love it. And again, a big chunky grill, but you also have exposed the grindstone there for the magnetic field generators. And inside the parking garage, I just have the one vehicle in here. But, it's fine. I can, in my free time, I can just build up a load more of these as well. But it's great. Again, featuring the daylight sensor solar panels. Is that going to turn purple? No? Yes? Okay, very good. It's quite funny because occasionally I turn the world to nighttime just to see what it looks like with all the lights and stuff. And if it's got like iron trapdoors and whatever next to these, they all flip up and ruin the design. And I have to take it back. I have to set it back every time. It's stupid. Okay, and then we've got the grindstones underneath once again. Like a wrapped over spoiler here. Very cool. Very nice. And up here we have a flying vehicle ready to go into the hangar at the City Hall here. Again, based on a Jack design. Captain Jack, sorry. And it's got like a thruster at the back. What's this? A dispenser? It's a dispenser at the back. We've got the grindstones once again. No blast furnaces for hover pads this time because this is actually flying. How? I don't know. Okay, it just is. It's magic. Yeah, like almost like claw designs at the front there, which I thought was quite a cool little thing. Inside here we have some end rods just for some extra lighting. Can I get inside this one? I don't even know. Yes, I can. Look at that. Beautiful. So plenty of space to sit up front in the cockpit. Beautiful. Great. Love it. I need to do a whole bunch of flying vehicles around the place as well, which means that a lot of the buildings need to have these hangars so that the vehicles can land in them, or, possibly on top. I should probably do another vehicle on the top. Yeah, that would be a good idea. But the episode is already running long, and I want to get in another build, okay? So we're going to build in this corner here, just so that we can fill up some more of the space, and that will be the final build for today's episode. This build is just going to be an office building, but it's going to be a fancy office building. I'm going for a different shape with this one, and I'm also using some brighter colours by working with a mixture of iron blocks and smooth stone with copper, cut copper and grey concrete accents. And of course I've got the glitchful design in there too, with a lot of pearlescent frog lights to really highlight it. When looking for inspiration for this city project, I ended up going on Google Earth and flying around places like Tokyo or Ginza in Japan, because those kinds of cities have some amazing modern architecture. It was also a good way to see examples of city layouts, which will help in the future of this project, especially to remind me to not keep the roads too straight and boring. The roof is a really bold shape on this one, and from certain angles it kind of reminds me of a certain bad guy from a very popular horror game. Any idea who I'm talking about? Overall, I'm very happy with how this turned out. It's very different to the other two builds, but still fits in nicely in this area. I've just finished adding this billboard to this lane divider here, but does it actually make sense to have a billboard advertising the company literally just across the way from the actual billboard? I don't know, but I've done it, so there. I'll move it later, it's fine. The shape of this building is really cool, okay? I was just playing around with a few different ideas and I kind of threw them together, but it works, I feel like. I really like the roof with the glitchfall design covering the sides. And the bad guy that I said that the shape sort of reminded me of is Pyramid Head from Silent Hill 2. Really great game, really great, if terrifying, bad guy. So let's take a look inside. I haven't really done much for the interiors. Maybe I'll do something on this floor here. But like I said, it's just like an office building for a company. Got a doorway. I haven't even finished the doorway. I should probably do that, yeah. To like an outdoor-indoor area here we've got with the glass supporting, or the glass in between these like strut support things. I don't know what they are, but I like them. And then both of these sort of central buildings are the same. You can go up the elevator to the next level, which again is just a room, it's fine. But you can go across this bridge to the next one. I like that, very cool. Go up the elevator again, and again, just another room that you can once again go through the bridge to this one. Again, just a big open room, it's fine. And then we can go up to the top, which looks absolutely beautiful. If I do say so myself, this is a room that I would really like to work in. I feel like lots and lots of light, lots of angles to look at and stuff. I like it, it's very cool. So that's pretty much it really for the build. I didn't intend really to do any sort of interior work for a lot of these buildings, as I said, because there's going to be a lot of buildings. That would be a lot of interior work. It's fine. If you are wondering what these shapes are here, they were just sort of me blocking buildings in place so that I got a sort of better idea of what the street looks like. It helps for like gaining a bit of perspective and stuff with it all filled in. So I just wanted to do that. Now, the centre of the city looks almost clean and flat, and it might not have the grimy, crusty look that Cyberpunk styles tend to have. But as you move away from the centre, the buildings and walkways and overpasses will have more varied textures that will hopefully help with that. But I think I've done enough for the first episode at least. So we have 3 major buildings, we have a bunch of different cars, hover cars, flying cars, we've got billboards, we've got ATMs and vending machines. Alright, we've just got one of each, it's fine. We've got some of the roads sort of laid out a little bit so we know roughly what's going to happen with those or what they're going to look like. We've got this narrowing bit for this road here. Now it's going towards this river here. I'd really like to have a bridge across there, so hopefully we get that far. But yeah, this is going to be a very long-term project, so you know, I guess if we do at least 3 buildings per episode plus a bunch of the roadworks and some cars and stuff, I feel like that would be pretty good progress each episode. Yeah. Alright guys, so if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, leave a comment, and if you'd like to see more, click the subscribe button. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.